Hi everyone. Given that over the last 15 years, between the two of us, Dean and I, we've seen thousands of people with memory complaints, by now we have a good sense of the spectrum of causes for memory disorders. As much as you would think that the most common reason for memory complaints may be those related to Alzheimer's and vascular dementia, it actually isn't. The most common reason for cognitive decline or memory problems is related to depression and anxiety. Remember, having an Alzheimer's prevention program, we see patients with memory complaints across the spectrum of memory problems. A majority of the people we see don't have dementia yet, but have had the beginnings of memory problems, or what we technically call subjective memory complaints, or a bit more advanced mild cognitive impairment. What we consistently see in these patients is often the memory and cognitive problems that manifest secondary to depression and anxiety resemble, in many ways, the memory problems seen in early dementia and even Alzheimer's. But the differentiating aspect is usually the fact that the area of cognition that is most affected is attention. Now, this doesn't mean that memory and executive function or language are not affected, because they are. What this means is that attention is disproportionately affected and other areas of cognition, such as memory, are secondarily affected. One also sees a direct relationship between the degree of mood disorders in general, as well as day by day, and the degree of cognitive decline. Meaning that on those days when depression or anxiety is at its worst, memory and other areas of cognition are also very bad. The second most common reason for memory problems, at least in our population, who a great majority don't have dementia yet, is related to sleep disorders or related to medications that are related to sleep disorders. Now, these patients consistently come to us saying that they experience a haze, a fog, and they can't really focus on anything. Some of them have such bad focus and fog that it starts to affect their daily activities and even their conversations. I've seen patients that were so affected by sleep medication that I would lose them before the end of a sentence. Speaking of sleep medication, another common reason for cognitive decline and memory problems is medications that have profound effect on the brain. The most notorious amongst these are pain medications such as opioids. But the list of medications that can affect the brain is very long, and the list of medication interactions that may lead to confusion, delirium, as well as cognitive and memory disorders is even longer. Some of the other medicines that have been known to cause cognitive problems include anti-anxiety medicines, especially the short-acting benzodiazepines, such as Xanax or Librium or Klonopin or diazepam, Valium, Dalmane, Ativan, Versed, Durel, Restoril, and the list is very long. And then there are these cholesterol-lowering medication statins, like simvastatin and pravastatin. Anti-seizure drugs such as Diamox or carbamazepine, Tegretol, Neurontin, Lamictal, Keppra, and the list goes on and on this, and it's a very long list. Tricyclic antidepressants such as amitriptyline, desipramine, doxepin, imipramine, nortriptyline, and others in the category. Parkinson's medication are specifically dopamine agonists such as Apoquin and Mirapex and Requip. Blood pressure medications such as beta blockers, atenolol, carvedilol, metoprolol, propranolol, sotalol, timolol, and the list goes on. And a very common one are medication for incontinence, which are anticholinergic. They actually lower the amount of the neurotransmitters in the brain, one of them called cholinesterase. These medications are Enablex, or Ditropan, or Vesicare, Detrol. Then we have first-generation antihistamines such as chlorpheniramine, or diphenhydramine, which is Benadryl, and hydroxyzine, which is Vistaril. Now, these medicines don't obviously cause confusion all the time, but they have been known to do so in some and especially in those who are susceptible, or in people who are on multiple medications, or medications that have a combination of these and other mind-altering medications. But the more important thing to know is that if you or your loved ones are on multiple medication and have recently been placed on a new medication, or have experienced a sickness while on any of these medications, then your medicines and your supplements should be considered as a possible culprit and should be reviewed with a physician, of course. In fact, if a person is susceptible, any medicine could cause altered mental state and memory problems. Oh, by the way, let's not forget the drugs that are often not discussed, yet are the most common cause of mental state and memory change. We're talking about alcohol, nicotine, marijuana, all of which have been known to cause memory problems, both short-term and long-term. And don't fool yourself by saying, I have used these for many years and nothing has happened to me. Remember, you may have been tolerant when you were younger, but as you get older, the cumulative effect of damage over the years, your general health status, and other factors may make you susceptible to elements that may not have affected you when you were younger. So in summary, there are many other reasons for memory and cognitive problems beyond the degenerative ones, such as Alzheimer's disease or vascular dementia and strokes. If you have memory problems, it would make sense to talk to someone that has broad knowledge of all the possible reasons, as many of the reasons discussed here are actually treatable and reversible. I'll see you at the next video.